Hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. So today we're going to be treating ratio and proportion. So ratio is simply the comparison between two similar quantities. So you may have an object, for example, that has a length of 130 meters and another object that has a length of 50 meters. So the comparison, when we're trying to compare these in mathematical terms, we can say the ratio of these objects to this object is 50 to 130 meters. That's the ratio. So ratio is used to compare two objects that have similar quantities. So also ratio can be written in fraction. For example, now imagine you have an object, you're trying to compare two objects, one 130 meters and another one 3 meters. So you can say it can be written in fraction, which we can liken, if we are comparing these to these, we can say this 3 to 130 meters. So this is the ratio 3 to 130 meters. So it can also be written in fraction. And one thing that we must take note is that when we're comparing two objects, we should make sure that they have similar quantities. So the object must be similar in nature. For example, the unit must be the same. That's how to compare. You can't compare an object with a different, maybe with a different length or dimension to another object totally different, another object that is totally different. So they must share similar quantity. They must have similar quantity. In this case, you have 130 meters and this 3 meters. So meters means that, okay, yes, they have similar quantities. So we can compare between these two objects. So we're going to be seeing examples and we'll be able to understand better on how to solve ratio and proportion related problems. So let's get started. So we have our very first example. It says that we should express the ratio of 6 centimeters to 3 meters in its simplest form. So now we have to simplify this. As I said earlier, you must make sure that both objects they are comparing have similar quantities. So in this case now we're having centimeters and meters. So the first thing we have to do is that to convert meters to centimeter, or to convert the centimeter to meters, any which ways. Just make sure that both quantity have similar dimension. So now in this case, we convert the meter to centimeter. So to solve this, we must first make sure that both of them are similar units. So now to convert, for example, in this case, to convert 3 meters to centimeter, we need to know how to convert. And probably I'll be teaching you that in another tutorial. These are the basic standards of conversion. So firstly, 100 centimeters makes 1 meter. 100 centimeter makes 1 meter. So now, we want to convert 3 meters to centimeter. What we're going to do, we're going to say 3 multiplied by 100, which is equal to 300. So now we have converted firstly. And I said, check, they must have similar quantities. At the beginning, they must have similar quantities. So now we can now say that this is, since now they have similar quantities, which is 300 centimeters, we can now say that we want to express the ratio of 6 centimeter to 300 centimeter. So as I've said earlier at the beginning, that we cannot convert this to fraction so that we'll be able to divide or cancel out or reduce. We're told to reduce to its simplest form, which means that we have to reduce it to its simplest form in which it's irreducible anymore. So now we're going to now simplify this. So we can say this will be 6 over 300. If you divide through, you see 1 over 50. So now we can now express this as 1:50. 1:50. So as I've said earlier, we need to be very careful. Make sure that the quantities that we are trying to compare, using the time ratio and proportion, trying to compare, we should make sure that they are of the same unit. They must be of the same quantity. So we're going to see another example. The more we see example, the more we understand the concept of ratio and proportion. Now example 2. We are told to express the ratio of 4:1/4 in its lowest form, or in its lowest term. Or lowest form. So now, for us to be able to solve this, we can express this in fraction. We can change it to fraction, then try to reduce it, and then we cannot bring it back to the ratio. So as I've said, you can say this can be 4/1/4, which can also be written as, okay, we are trying to solve for 4:1/4. If we're changing it to fraction, we can say this is 4/1/4. Now 4/1/4, we can say this is 4 times 4/1. So from here we can now say this is 16/1. So now we can now convert it back to ratio, which is 16:1. So now we have expressed this to its simplest form. So for you to be able to reduce the ratio between two similar quantities, you can do that by converting them to fraction and reducing them through probably the mathematical operator called division. So now once you divide through, you'll be able to reduce it to its simplest term. Let's move on to example 3 so that we'll get to understand this better. Now they said two lengths are in the ratio 8:5. If the first length is 120 meter, if the first length is 120 meters, what is the second? What is the second? You're finding what is the second length. So to solve this, we can say the first length and second length have a ratio of 8:5. The first and second length. Now they said the first length is 120 meters, which means this is 120 meters. Now they said we should find what the second length find what's the second length. We can term the second length as B, an unknown number B. So now, for us to solve this, we can do this. We can say 8 multiplied by B, which is the unknown length, is equals to 120 multiplied by 5. How did we arrive at this? We're given the ratio of 8 to 5. They say if the first length, this first length, which is 8, is 120 meter, the ratio of 8 is 120 meter. So we should find the length of the second one that we already know the ratio, which is 5, 8 to 5. So what we just did is that 8 ratio 5, 120 meters ratio the unknown length that we're trying to look for. So we try to cross multiply. So now this will be 8b is equals to, now we can do our calculation, 120 multiplied by 5, that's 600. So now to find the length, the second length B is equals to 600. Let me do it up here so that we'll be able to see it properly. Now to find the ratio, the length B, we now say this is 600 divided by 8, which is equals to 75 centimeter. Sorry, 75 meters, not centimeter, because the length we're giving in meters. So 75 meters. We need to be very careful about the unit because the unit matters a lot in mathematics. Sometimes, in some cases, if you omit the unit, you may end up, getting the OT wrong because it means it gives a total interpretation to what you're trying to solve. So we need to be careful about the unit. This is meters because the length is given in 120 meters. So by the time you solve this, you will get 75 meters. So now, this is how to solve the ratio. I'm going to go to the proportion aspect. But before we go to the proportion aspect, let's solve another example so that we'll get ourselves better. We'll be able to understand this better. So let's solve another example. Now we're going to example 4. Example 4. The two speed are in the ratio 12 to 17. Two speed are in the ratio 12 to 7. If the second is 21 kilometer per hour, if the second speed, if the second speed is 21 kilometer per hour, what is the first speed per hour? What is the first per hour? Sorry, what is the first speed per hour? What is the first speed? So for us to be able to understand this better, we're told that the ratio of two particular speed is 12 to 7, which means that the first speed has a ratio of 12, then the second speed has a ratio of 7. So now the second speed 7 is 21 kilometer. So what is the first speed? So this is very simple. 12 ratio 7. Now the first speed in this question we don't know, so we can say that should be B, an unknown. B here is an unknown number that we don't know. We're trying to solve for it, and then they say that's the first. We're trying to look for the first speed B. Then the second speed is given to us 21. So what we just do, we just need to cross multiply. So that is 12 times 21 divided by 7. No, okay, yeah, it's still the same thing. You can say, let me do it properly so that we're able to understand. You can say 7 multiplied by b is equals to 12 multiplied by 21. So once you do this calculation, we can say this 7b is equals to 252. Now, for us to now get the unknown length that we're looking for, the unknown speed. Sorry about that. The unknown speed now, we can now say that 252 divided by 7 is equals to the unknown length. That's the first speed. So what's the first speed, which is the unknown length in this case, the unknown speed in this case. So once we divide it, we're going to get 36. So that's how to go about this, how to go about getting the speed. So that's all about ratio. We're going to go to proportion. Proportion is similar to ratio because it's just also comparison, but in this case, both of them must sum up to one, must sum up to a whole number. So let's go to proportion now. We'll see examples that will help us, understand this better. So proportion is also similar to ratio. If they say share something in the same proportion, which means that they must have the same, quantity. So let's get started with the very first example, so that we'll be able to understand what proportion is all about. So example 1 for proportion. Let me write this proportion. Proportion. To divide $1,100 into 2 parts. Sorry. Into 2 parts in the ratio of 8:4. In the ratio of 8:4. Now, solution. Now you're told to divide this into, a particular proportion, the proportion of 8:4, in the ratio of 8:4. Divide this amount of money in the ratio of 8:4. I have 2 methods of solving this, which I'm going to be showing you in this particular example. So you can use any one that you wish to use. So the first step that I'm going to be teaching you is, first of all, add the total ratio together. Total ratio is equals to 8 plus 4, which is equals to 12. So once you find out the total ratio, we can now find out what is the amount per ratio. Amount per ratio. Amount for one ratio. So we can say that amount per ratio, which is equals to the total number that we're supposed to divide with, the total number divided by the total ratio, which is equals to 1,100 divided by, what's the total ratio here? 12. So now from here, we are going to be able to find the amount per ratio. So this is 91.66. I hope we're all getting it. So we're finding the amount per ratio. So now, if you want to get how much will the person with eight get, and how much will the person with 4 get? The ratio of 8 to 4, we can now say, to now get the amount of the first part into 2 parts, the amount of the first part, amount for the first part is equals to 91.66 multiplied by 8. Amount for the first part, which is 8, is equals to 8 multiplied by the amount for each ratio. The amount that each ratio, like the ratio of 1 we get. That's 8 multiplied by this. So we're going to end up getting $733. So now, amount for the second part, for the second part, that we're going to say the second ratio multiplied by amount for each. The second ratio multiplied by amount for each, which is equals to 4 multiplied by 91.66. So that will give us $367. $367. I hope we are all clear. So now, after this, I'm going to be showing you the second method that we can use. This is a straightforward method that we can use to, to be able to arrive at the same answer as well. I hope we all understand this. Let's now move to the second one. The second method that we're going to be using. That one, we can go straight forward to the solution. We can say, okay, amount for the first ratio, we will first find the total ratio here. The total ratio is equals to 8 plus 4, which is equals to 12. The total ratio gets what? $1,100. The sum of the total ratio is $1,100. So now the amount for the first part now, amount for the first part is now 8 divided by the total ratio. If we're seeing this clearly, 8 multiplied by the total ratio times 1,100. I hope we are all getting this. So once you do this, you're going to get $733. I hope we're all getting this. Now, amount for the second part. Amount for the second part, we can now say that is 4 divided by the total ratio, which is 12, times the total amount here, 1,100. So there you can get, we're going to get 367. Now, once you understand this, you can use any of the two methods to be able to analyze this given kind of question. It's also a ratio of 8 to 4 of $1,100. So let's move to another example quickly so that we'll be able to understand this more clearer and better. Now, they said an aircraft carries 2,800, an aircraft carries 2,880 liters of fuel distributed in 3 tanks. distributed in three tanks in the ratio 2 to 6 to 4. Find the quantity in each tank. Say, would you find the quantity in each tank? As I've said earlier, what we need to do, there are two methods to solve this problem. The first one is, let's look carefully. We're going to use the first method. Add the total ratio together and find the total amount of liters they carry. So total ratio together, total ratio is equals to 2 plus 6 plus 4. So 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 2, 12. This is 12. Now, total amount of fuel that was carried in the tank. In these three tanks, the total amount of fuel is equals to 2,880 liters. Now, let's now find how much, what's the amount of fuel that each of them will carry, like per ratio, per one ratio. What is the amount of fuel that's going to carry? That's according to the first method. Per ratio, amount of fuel per ratio will be 2,880 divided by 12. 2,880 divided by 12, that's 240 liters. 240 liters. Now, we can now find how much is in the three tanks. You can say 2 multiplied by 240 for the first tank. Let me explain it better. So that amount in the first tank, amount in the first tank is equals to 2 here. The first tank is 2 multiplied by 240 liters, which is equals to 480 liters. 480 liters. That's amount in the first tank. Now, amount in the second tank. In the second tank, what's the amount in the second tank? Is 6 multiplied by the total, the amount per each ratio. So that's 6 multiplied by 240 liters, which is equals to 1,400 liters. Now, amount in the third tank. Amount in the third tank is equals to, what's the amount of 4 multiplied by 240 liters, which is equals to 960 liters. 960 liters. Now, have we seen how we did it? First of all, add the total ratios together. The total amount of fuel per each, the total amount of fuel that was in the three tanks. Now, amount of fuel per each ratio. So for one ratio, this is the amount of fuel. If everything is to be splitted equally, This is the amount of fuel that for each of the ratios. So now then I said amount of the first tank is equals to, they said the fuel was distributed in 3 tanks, which is according to the ratio 2:6:4. So we said 2 multiplied by each ratio, total of each ratio in liters, we got this. Then 6 multiplied by the total for each ratio, this, and then 4 multiplied by the total of each, which is 36 liters. So we can also use our second method. Now we can use our second method. Now the second method is very straightforward, so we just go straight to the point. So amount in the first tank, as I said, we'll just go straight to the point. Total amount of the ratios, the total ratio is equals to 2 plus 6 plus 4, which is equals to 12, right? So now I've gotten total ratio. So we can just say amount in the first tank, amount in the first tank is equals to 2 over the total ratio multiplied by the total number of liters, which is 2880 liters. So once you punch in your calculators, you're going to get 480 liters. Are we all following? Now, let's go to the second one. Amount in the second tank. In the second tank is equals to 6 over 12 multiplied by 2880 liters. 1, 2. This is equals to 1440 liters. Now let's go to the amount in the third tank. Amount in the third tank can be said to be 4 over 12 multiplied by 2880 liters, which once you do solve this, you are going to get 960 liters. Just the second method, total ratio is this. They are going to say 2 out of 12 multiplied by the total. 6 out of 12 total multiplied by the total amount of liters that was carried. 4 out of 12 multiplied by total amount of liters that the aircraft carried. So now let's go to another more complex example that will, will be really grounded in and know what we are doing. So now they say that persons A, B, and C and C shares a sum of money, shares a sum of money in the ratio 5 to 8 to 12. 5 to 8 to 12. If C receives $12 more than B, find the sum of the money that was shared. Find the sum of money that was shared. This is a very logical question, so we need to be careful. Now, persons A, B, and C shares the sum of money. The sum of money. So, what is the total ratio? Is equals to 5 plus 8 plus 12 is 25. That's the sum. So the amount that one person shares, one person per ratio, using the first method, is now per ratio for one ratio is equals to the total divided by 25. So if you now want to go back to how much did A share, that means A shared we can say A shared, we can say A shared 5 multiplied by T over 25. B shared 5, what's the ratio of B? 8 multiplied by T over 25. Then C shared, what C shared is, what's the ratio of C? 12 multiplied by the T over 25 plus, they say he received 12 more than B. What does that mean? That whatever the answer of B is, C received 12 more than B. So this plus 12. Hope we're all getting it. So we can say, okay, sorry, no, this is a mistake. What this is saying is that T, which is 12 times T over 25, is equals to B plus, because it says he receives this B, he receives $12 more than B. B plus $12. Are we all getting it? So it's saying that A, as I've solved from the previous example, we see that A is equals to 5 multiplied by amount per ratio, which is the total over the total ratio. The total amount that we're looking for now, or the total ratio. So we now say that for person A, the amount that person A shares is now 5 multiplied by the amount per ratio. 5 multiplied by the amount per ratio, which is T over 25. The amount that B shares is 8 multiplied by the amount per ratio, which is T over 25. Then the amount that C shares is equals to 12 multiplied by this, which is also equals to, according to our question, say if C received $12 more than B, which means that he received B plus $12. That, are we getting it? He receives, the amount that C received was B plus $12. So now let's analyze this properly. So now we are saying that, what we are saying in excess is that this C, which is normally 12 multiplied by the amount per ratio, 12T over 25, 12 multiplied by the amount per ratio, is also equals to, according to our question, if C receives $12 more than B, is also equals to B plus 12. And what is our B? Our B is this. This is our B. So he said he received B plus $12 more. So we can now say it's equals to 8T over 25 plus 12. I hope we're getting it. I hope you understand it. So this is saying that normally for us to calculate C is 12 multiplied by the amount per ratio. So which is this. Then it's not saying that this the C is also 12 is also B. The B plus $12 because it received $12 more than B. The B plus $12. So now let's solve this. Now bring this one over. We have 12t. I think I need to create space so that we'll be able to see it better. Okay, let me demarcate this over. So we can now say from here 12t over 25. Let me erase all this so that we'll be able to see it better clearly. Let me erase the question. I will take note of the question so we'll be able to solve it. So this is 12t over 25 minus 8t over 25, which is equals to 12. So let's transfer all this, let's transfer it here so that we'll be able to see it clearly. So we are saying 12t over 25 minus 8t over 25 is equals to 12. Are we all getting it? So now from here, 12t minus 8t, since they have the same denominator, we can also say 12t minus 8t, which is equals to 40. So we can say 40 over 25 is equals to 12, which is now equals to 40 is equals to 25 multiplied by 12 if we cross multiply. Are we all getting this? When we cross multiply, it's going to be 40 multiplied by 12 times 25. So 12 times 25 will give us 300. This is equals to 300. So 40 equals to 300 divided by 4, 4. So that will be 300 divided by 4 will give us 75. 75. So the total amount that was shared, someone that was shared was $75. Do we understand it? Now, what we just did here, we solved this. We say since 12, the ratio of 12 multiplied by the amount per ratio is equals to B, because in the question they say C received $12 more than B, is equals to B plus $12. We equate it together. From here, we just did some simple mathematics. 12t over 25 is equals to 8t is equals to B, which is 8t plus 25. They say more than, so an addition of $12. So we just brought this in, we subtracted, we equal it to 12. We brought this in, becomes negative, and then we subtracted this from this. That's how we arrived at our 40 here. So we arrive at 40 over 25, which is equals to the 12 that is outside there. So we just do some cross multiplication, and that's how we get the solution. Now we're going to go to the very last example for this tutorial. I hope we are getting it and we are understanding this, because it's very important we understand it. This last example, I'll need to share the board so that we'll be able to understand it much better. So let's divide the board now. So now, they said in the very last example, they said that 60 kg of alloy A, 60 kg of alloy A are mixed with 100 kg, are mixed with 100 kg of alloy B, They say if alloy A has lead, if alloy A has lead, that the component of alloy A, and tin in the ratio of 3:2, and tin in the ratio of 3:2. And alloy B has tin and copper in the ratio of 1:4. And alloy B has tin and copper, in the ratio of 1:4. Find how much lead, tin, and copper that are present in the new alloy. Find the amount of lead, tin, and copper. Of lead, tin, and copper that are present in the new alloy. Now, to solve this solution, now there are two sections of present in this question. The first one, it says 60 kg of alloy A are mixed with 100 kg of alloy B. Now we have 60 kg of alloy A is mixed with 100 kg of alloy B. If alloy A has lead and tin, so the component of alloy A, for alloy A, the ratios of the component is 3:2, which means that the total ratio for alloy A is 3 plus 2, which is equals to 5. Now, and alloy B also has tin and copper. So alloy A, let's not forget, alloy A has lead and tin. So this is lead ratio to tin. Now, alloy B has tin and copper in the ratios of 1:4. This is tin and copper in the ratios of 1:4. Is it find the total amount? Find the total amount. That was saying find the total amount of lead, tin, and copper. So the total ratio for the alloy B, total ratio is equals to 1 plus 4, which is equals to 5:2. Now remember, all these are not in the same proportion. You can't say that because of that you are going to say, okay, since this is tin and tin, we add 2 plus 1, 3. No, because there's the 2 here, the 2 to 3 here is the ratio is deducted from the total alloy of 60 kg alloy A, and this is from alloy B, so they will not be mixed. Everything will not be proportion. Everything, when you mix everything, they will not be in the same proportion. So we should be very careful. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to treat alloy A first, we're going to treat alloy B second, then we're not going to add the tin, the copper, and the lead. Now let's solve this. So for us to solve this, what I'm first going to do is, what is the percentage of alloy A, lead in alloy A? So the percentage of lead in alloy A is 3/5. Lead in alloy A, 3/5 multiplied by the total, which is 60. So when you do that, you're going to get 36 kg. Now, what is the percentage of tin in alloy A? Tin in alloy A which is 2/5 multiplied by 60, right? 2/5 multiplied by 60, we're getting 24 kg. You know, we got it. We are finding the amount of lead in alloy A, which is 3 divided by the total, which is 5, multiplied by the total amount, 60 kg for alloy A. Same thing follows for tin. So now let's go to alloy B. For the second alloy, now what we're going to do is similar to this. What's the ratio of the second alloy contains alloy A has lead and tin in the ratio of this. Alloy B has tin and copper. So the ratio of tin in alloy B is what? What's tin in alloy B? 1 divided by the total ratio, which is 5, multiplied by the total amount of alloy B, 100 kg. Once you do this calculation, you are going to get 20 kg. Now, what is the percentage of copper in alloy B? Copper in alloy B is equals to 4 over the total, which is 5, multiplied by 100 kg for alloy B, which is equals to 80 kg. Now, they now said, if they are mixed, all these things were now mixed. So this is the amount in kg that were all mixed together. They now say, find how much lead is in the mixture. Now, after they were mixed, so the amount of lead in the mixture, the amount of lead is equals to the amount of lead in alloy B plus the amount of lead in alloy A. So in the amount of lead in alloy A plus the amount of lead in alloy B. So in alloy A, what's the amount of lead that is in alloy A? 36 kg. That's lead in alloy A plus lead in alloy B, which is equals to, lead in alloy A is what? 36 kg. 36 kg plus lead in alloy B. No, we don't have lead in alloy B. That's plus 0 equals to 36 kg. That's the amount of lead in the total distance. So let's say what's the amount of alloy tin in the mixture? The amount of tin in the mixture, similar to this, tin in alloy A plus tin in alloy B. Now, what's the amount of tin in alloy A? 24 kg. 4 kg. What's the amount of tin in alloy B? Alloy B, tin in alloy B. This is tin, yeah. Tin in alloy A, tin in alloy B is 20 kg. So the total here will be 44 kg. 44 kg. Now, they say, what is the percentage of copper in the new alloy? So we're going to say copper in copper. The percentage of copper in the new alloy is equals to copper in alloy A plus copper in alloy B. I hope that's visible. So what's the percentage of copper in alloy A? Copper in alloy A, none. We don't have any. So this 0 plus, what's the percentage of copper in alloy B? Copper in alloy be 80 kg. 80 kg. 80 kg. So the total is what? 80 kg. So that's how to solve this kind of question. I hope we all understand. You can watch the video to be able to understand how I came about all this. Now, thank you for today's tutorial. So I'm giving you some exercises. Try them on your own and see. I want to see your answers in the comment section below. Let me know. Maybe you really understand this particular topic well, so we can progress in learning of mathematics. So all these are the basics. They are very important. We need to know them as we get along. So let me give you some exercises. Try them out. Comment. I want to see your answers in the comment section. I'm going to reply you if your answers are correct or wrong. So just try them out and let me see the comment section. One, exercises. One, divide $800 in ratio 5:3. Okay. Two, express the following ratios in fractions in their lowest term. In their lowest term. So we are saying 1.5 kg to 200 gram, 2 meter to 30 centimeter. And then the last one I'm going to be giving you. 3. Say a quantity of alloy having a mass of 336 kg contains copper lead and tin in the ratio 16:4:1 by mass. To this alloy, are added 4 kg of copper, 36 kg of lead and 4 kg of tin. Calculate the ratio. Calculate the ratio by mass of the copper lead and tin in the new alloy. So try to attempt these 3 questions. I want to see your solutions in the comment section. That's the end of today's tutorial. Thanks for watching.